Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Bo Juck. We are live here in Athens, Georgia, ready to kick off Week 1 between Boston College and the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia is going to be played by number 4 in the league, Tom Grossi, a football YouTuber who likes the Packers. It's his favorite team, and he has a podcast about them. The reason he chose Georgia was because their logos look the same between the Green Bay Packers and the Georgia Bulldogs. Boston College is going to be played by George Costanza, the second main character of Seinfeld, and he is in the Seinfeld division. Both players are looking to get their first win of the season heading into Week 2. If George wins, this will be a massive upset for George, as Tom Grossi is ranked 4th in the nation. All right. Tom Grossi is kicking off down the middle. George Costanza is going for the return. Let's even get lucky here. And he does not. Average return. Oh no, there's a flag. Another clipping call. We had a clipping call in our Newman vs. Kramer game. And oh, whoa. That is going to send George far back into his territory after a good return. How disappointing for George. You really got to stop tackling their legs like that if you don't want to get a clipping call like that, George. All right, George is waiting for the snap. Got to get that call out of his head, and he runs it to the left. All right, and they bring him down after a decent gain. Now, George has to be clear. He has to not worry about Tom Grossi being ranked number 4th and him being unranked. He can still pull off an upset. Upsets happen time to time. Let's see if George can get that out of his head, and whoa, that was bad. He just started running into his own teammate. Could not get anywhere. See? His guard just blocking the way. Guarding the quarterback from running harder than guarding Tom Grossi from sacking George. Now George is facing a big third down conversion in his territory. He has to pick up a really good gain here over the middle to nobody. Not a good start for George. Athens is a difficult place to play, and George is really feeling the home crowd of Tom Grossi here. Let's see if he can pin this deep into Tom Grossi's territory with the punt. Tom Grossi is waiting for the ball, and he goes up to the middle. Doesn't make it into George's territory, makes it around the 50-yard line. All right, Tom Grossi knows a lot about football here. So let's see if he can translate his YouTube knowledge into the game itself. He has played Madden time to time. Let's see if he can do the same skill in Madden into NCAA. And he goes to the left, picks up a yard, if anything, on that. Not a good run by Tom Grossi. Still, it was the first play. Still opening things up. Still trying out new waters. Let's see if Tom Grossi can get a big first down right here, and he steps back, throws short, and he's got it. He's got it. All right, 2 yards. Got the ball. Got a few yards off of that. Good job by Tom Grossi, still being persistent, even when you throw behind the line of scrimmage and it's caught behind the line of scrimmage. You keep going, try to gain yards, even no matter where you catch it. Tom Grossi looking to throw, and he's got the first down. Tom Grossi. Big first down conversion right there. If he missed that, he would have had to punt that maybe into George's territory and would have had to give up his drive. But he did not. Just shows the persistency by Tom Grossi here. Let's see if he can keep that up and entertain his home crowd. All right, Tom Grossi calling a different play. Probably didn't like the looks of the defense. He's going through the middle, brought down. That's why he changed it to get that good run. He saw leakage in George's defense right there. Just a door right there in the middle. Just opened up the door to his running back. Good run. Good job mixing the play after looking at the defense, Tom Grossi, and not going with what you originally called, but what you thought is best. That shows the knowledge and why Tom Grossi is ranked number 4th in the nation, and why Tom Grossi is favored to win this game. If he can keep this going through the momentum and shut down Georgia's offense, he can win this game. All right, now it's the second quarter. Let's see if that wasn't a fluke couple of plays for Tom Grossi, and let's see if he can keep it up in the next couple of plays. Tom Grossi looking to the left, found an open receiver, and he's pushed out of bounds. 4-yard gain. Still fought to gain yards on that play. George has to really up his defense right here if he wants to win in his first game. All right, Tom Grossi with the play action. Throws to the left. Tom Grossi down the sideline. Touchdown, Tom Grossi. Wow. Unbelievable. I thought he was going to be stopped as soon as he caught that reception. But no, he kept fighting. That has really been Tom Grossi's memo all game. As soon as he caught that, I thought he would go out of bounds to stop the clock or something, or George would take him down with his defense. But no, broke a tackle right there. George is left speechless on that drive by Tom Grossi. Tom Grossi did not give up any hope right there. And now he's got 6 points on the board. Let's see if he can make it 7 with the kick. And it's good. Tom Grossi with a 7-point lead in the second quarter. Shut down Georgia's offense and still gets the ball in the second half. Things are looking good for Tom Grossi if he wants to preserve his number 4th rank in the country. All right, George. Let's see if he can tie back up here. George, down the middle, found an opening. George Costanza makes it to about the 44. Wow. George is not going to let Tom Grossi get too cocky there. Tom Grossi still has to be on guard. He cannot get too overconfident here, and he still has to shut down Georgia's offense if he wants to preserve the lead. And George with the draw gains about 1 yard. If anything on that, maybe a couple millimeters, maybe a couple centimeters, but not good yardage on that. Let's see if George can get more yards with a pass here. Over to the left, and it's dropped. Wow, George has not made a single pass yet. George really needs to get a couple passes here because George, as the quarterback, is not looking good right now. All right, George, let's see if he can prove me wrong. Almost sacked. To the middle. Oh, and he missed them. Not dropped this time, just a brutal miss. All right, and George is going to have to punt it 2 drives in a row. Upping Tom Grossi's confidence here. Upping his confidence as the 4th ranked player in the NCAA 14 Tournament League. And then Tom Grossi with the return. Let's even get a good return. Tom Grossi down the sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds. About a 10-yard punt there. Not good for George. Only sent him back 10 yards after that return. And he's got it through the sideline. Tom Grossi trying to pick up the first down. Misses it a couple inches. And Tom Grossi takes a timeout here. Trying to get a few more points on the board. If he can get another touchdown here, it will create an insurmountable lead for Tom Grossi. To the left, and Scott with the jump catch. Tom Grossi. What a deep pass. He's really trying to get another touchdown on the board, and George has to take a timeout. He has given up. George thinks that Tom Grossi is going to score on this drive, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. He took a timeout there to give him more seconds on the clock for this half to try and score before the end of the half for both team players. All right, Tom Grossi. Let's see if he can make it 3, or let's see if he can make it 6 right here. All right, Tom Grossi stepping back, looking where to throw. To the left, and he's caught out of bounds. Tom Grossi is just inching himself up to the end zone. First down after first down with a great passing game. Really rubbing it into George's face that his passing game is not good and showing why Tom Grossi is ranked and why George isn't. To the right, Tom Grossi with the running game touchdown. Tom Grossi up by 13. And the ball just flew out of the end zone right there. All right, right there, Tom Grossi dived, got the touchdown. It's looking good for Tom Grossi here in Athens, Georgia. All right, let's see if Tom Grossi can up his lead to 2 scores. And it's good. Tom Grossi up by 14 before the end of the first half. Really pleasing his home crowd right here. What a phenomenal drive by Tom Grossi with the deep passes, with the running game, mixing it up, catching George off guard. Really, George was stumped there, had no idea what to do with his defense against Tom Grossi's offense. It was just too much for George to handle. Let's see if Tom Grossi's defense can respond to George like how they did first couple of drives, or if George has a little hope right here, and he's sacked. His O-line was not blocking good there. Tom Grossi just found a little crevice in the offensive line right there and just sacked him. George Costanza must be losing hope right now. Hoping to not punt it again on his third drive. Still has 2 timeouts. Let's see if he can get a couple points on the board, though. Hopes are not all left for George Costanza, and George is letting the clock tick down, not wanting to risk stamina loss for his team. Probably wanting to get in one last play, one last run, or one last deep pass before taking a timeout and trying for one more Hail Mary. Just really wanting to keep the stamina here for the second half. He can come back still if his defense plays good second half. So he's not wanting to risk the stamina loss here by letting the clock tick down. Over the middle, it's caught. First caught pass from George to his teammates. And that's the end of the first half. If you're a Tom Grossi fan, right now is looking good for Tom Grossi. Up by 14-0. Tom Grossi is really showing George why it's difficult to play in Athens, Georgia. Tom Grossi knows his stuff about football. He talks about it every day, all day on his YouTube channel, Tom Grossi. George Costanza is really more of a baseball fan, as he was hired by the Yankees in Seinfeld. So he might not know football as well as he does baseball, and that might be why he's struggling against football juggernaut Tom Grossi, who talks about it every day, all day, unlike George Costanza. To the return up the middle, to the 35-yard line. What a return for Tom Grossi. 10 yards extra if he would have just down that. Good return by Tom Grossi, putting his team in good field position right here. All right, let's see if they can get deeper down the field. Play action. Tom Grossi steps back. O-line's blocking good. He has enough time to look for an open receiver deep down the field, and it's got Tom Grossi down the sideline, and he got pushed out of bounds. What a cannon for an arm Tom Grossi's quarterback has. Tom Grossi had a lot of time there. George's defensive line could not find an opening in Tom Grossi's elite offensive line, and Tom Grossi just found a receiver deep down the field who was wide open. George's defense has really been struggling with letting Tom Grossi get these deep passes going lately. Let's see if Tom Grossi sets up some more play action, and he got to the run, pushes him, first down, touchdown! Oh, inches short. Wow, Tom Grossi's offense is unbelievable right now, breaking tackles. Number 3 running back on the Georgia Bulldogs, I believe that is Todd Gurley. Wow. All right. Let's see if Tom Grossi can get into the end zone for 6 points, scrambles, and it's sacked. Even though you were really close to the end zone, Tom Grossi, you really gotta not choke right here. George still has some time to get back into the game, and he's looking, trying to stop down your drive here. All right. Try not to get sacked again, Tom Grossi. If you still want to go for some points right here, let's see if you can do it under pressure. Super close to the end zone. Play action to the left. Caught by 43. Fullback number 43 on the Georgia Bulldogs for a 40-yard reception. It's 3rd and goal. So Tom Grossi has one more play to make it into the end zone if he wants to get 6 points on the board. He doesn't have to worry, though, since if he gets 3, he'll be up by 3 scores with a field goal. But this is to be up by more points with Tom Grossi. Waiting for the snap, stalling down the clock a little more just to make less time here for George. All right, Tom Grossi looks to the left, open receiver, but tackled for a loss. Probably going to have to kick the field goal right here if he wants to get 3 more points up on his team. If he scores a field goal right here, that'll be the most points achieved by a team so far in the NCAA 14 Tournament League. Let's see if he can do it under pressure. Tom Grossi to be up by 17 points, 3 scores, and have the most points in a game by a player in the NCAA Football Tournament League, and he gets it for 17 points, 17-0. Good lead with Tom Grossi. All right, kicks off. George set to return. Oh, had nowhere to go. Nobody was there to block Tom Grossi. George must be losing hope right now. Tom Grossi's offense has been playing spectacular. Defense just stopping George every time. I don't believe George has gotten a first down yet. All right, let's see if he can get first down here. Over the middle, brought down. 10 seconds left for the third quarter. Things aren't looking good if you were a George Costanza fan, and that's the end for the third quarter. Tom Grossi is up 17-0. Really showing off, really proving why he is ranked the way he is against George Costanza. Things were looking good for George Costanza. He is expected to win his division in the season, but with the way his offense has been playing and his defense has been playing, those polls might have to counteract that and maybe have to say Newman is going to win the division. Who knows? Over the middle. Oh, almost intercepted. But it's dropped, almost picked off. George is just throwing it at Tom at this point. He's really given up. Not a good play by George. At least try and make it closer of a game. You don't want to be shut out your first game. Stop throwing it to the opponent. Throw it to the men in white. And he's got it to the right and just throws this one out of bounds. Completely missed his target. He has to go for it here if he wants to make it closer. I don't believe a comeback is happening. He'd have to get 2 onside kicks, which would be almost near to impossible. He's got it over the middle. First down. Even though you're down by 17 points, George is not letting go of these drives. Still trying to win through the middle. Got another first down. Only if George's offense has been playing like this the whole game, maybe he'd be up by now, but they only seem to play when they're losing, I guess. Over the middle, another first down. First down after first down. Only if you were playing like this earlier, George, you might have been in the lead right now, but you were playing horrible before. Sorry to say, George, but you were. All right, to the left, another first down. Can't feel excited for these first downs, even though they are good passes, good catches. There's no way for George to get back into this game unless he makes 2 onside kick recoveries in a row, which is near to impossible. We've had an onside kick in the Newman versus Kramer game, and it was failed. Kicked right to Newman with an onside kick by Kramer. So if George can get 2 in a row, that would be something in itself. But let's see if George can make it less close and not try and get shut out his first opening game. All right, George looking for an open receiver, and he almost threw it to Tom Grossi again. Tom Grossi, this is a blowout win for him. There might not be enough time even if George were to get 2 onside kick recoveries. George is really losing hope here after being down by 3 scores. Looking for an open receiver in the end zone, and it's missed. Threw it at the ref. George Costanza, what are you doing? You're throwing it at the ref, you're throwing it at the opponent, everywhere but your own receivers. You're doing it good, but now that you have the pressure to make it in the end zone, you're not playing well, George. Let's see if you can prove me wrong. George, to the left, it's dropped. It was a good throw, too, by George. And he's missed half of his pass attempts. Compared to Tom Grossi, who I believe has perfect pass completion so far. All right, George, let's see if he can get 6 on the board. Make it more close, and he's got it. Touchdown, George Costanza. Got 6 points on the board. Making sure that he won't score. Making sure that he will score in this game. And won't not score 0 points and be shut out his first game. Good attempt by George to get back into this game. Well, not back into it, but make it more of a close game. Keep it more exciting. Make sure it's not just Tom Grossi just railing on you. Make sure it's still a fierce competition. So good effort by George. Let's see if he can get the onside kick. This is the game. And he kicks it. Whoa! Did he get it? Did George get it? That was a lucky bounce and... Oh, whoa! He might have gotten it. Hold up. Did George? George got the onside kick. George has gotten the onside kick, and there's still a hope for George. Over the middle. Oh, it's dropped over the middle. That would have gotten a first down, but George has the ball. That means Tom Grossi won't be kneeling down right here to end the clock, to tick down the clock. George still has a moment. It's a QB QB blast up the middle. Missed the first down. All right, got 3 yards to get a first down here in midfield. Let's see if George can keep the hope alive. Over the middle, over to the left. George Costanza down the sideline. And he's gotten the first down. Went out of bounds to stop the clock. I thought he was not going to get the onside kick. Those happen so rarely of a time right here, especially in the fourth quarter when the special teams are expecting the onside. So let's see if George can do it. To the right, open receiver, but tackle down. Only got 6 yards, 35 seconds. George is really going to have to make a deep pass here if he wants to get back into this game and try for another onside kick. All right, looking for an open receiver. George, over the middle, misses his target. Wide open receiver. Tom Grossi's defense has been confident all game, stopping almost every pass, almost every run, almost every scramble George has had. Georgia's offense has not been going things smoothly right here, but let's see if they can score 2 touchdowns in a row. Over the middle, George Costanza trying to stiff arm Tom Grossi down, and he's going to hurry up here, call a hurry up, almost about 15 yards away from the end zone. Super close to the end zone. George Costanza over the middle. Got it. 16 seconds left. George Costanza's really going to have to score here if he still wants to win. And he spikes the ball to stop the clock. Good play by George Costanza. He has to know it's 3rd and inches. This is a really big play for George. If he could score here, get an onside kick, and get one last Hail Mary, then he still has a shot to win this game with an unbelievable comeback. All right, George Costanza misses the end zone right there. Inches away from the end zone. He still has a shot to win, though. All right, let's see. This is the play. If they do not get it here, if George does not get it here, he loses the game. George looking for an open receiver. And it's caught. Touchdown, George Costanza. 0 seconds left on the clock, so George cannot win here. But what a good 2-touchdown comeback right there in the end. If there's just more time on the clock, could George have maybe got back into the game? All right, if he gets it by 1, he'd only be down by field goal, and he's got it. It's good. 17-14. Tom Grossi wins his opening game. He was up 17-0, but managed only to squeak it out by 3 points in the end. George was still fighting on. What persistency, what courage, and by George Costanza there. I'm really proud of him to still keep it going even when there's almost no shot to win. Recovering the onside kick, which is the most difficult thing to do in this game. So good job for George Costanza. If he played like that all game, he would have won. But he was really struggling in the first half, and that's why Tom Grossi played better than him, played better than George, and why he got the victory by 3 points here for our first game. I thought it was going to be a blowout like Jonathan Isaac versus Mike Loxley, but Tom Grossi barely managed to sneak by there with George Costanza. If there's a couple seconds on the clock, who would have known if George would have gotten the second onside kick or not, and one more Hail Mary, but George just took too long to get in the end zone on his second drive for a touchdown. But George Costanza, good job to him for putting 14 points on the board after being behind 0-17 to Tom Grossi. Good job for Tom Grossi for preserving your number 4th rank in the country and for winning your home opener. All right, that is it. My name has been Bo Juck, and thank you for watching the NCAA 14 Tournament League. Final score, Tom Grossi, 17 points. George Costanza, 14 points. Tom Grossi improves to 1-0. George Costanza falls to 0-1. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the 7th game tomorrow. Goodbye.